Always good to kind of get off the schneid, if you will. Obviously, coming up two disappointing one possession losses left a pretty sour taste in the mouths of all our guys, everybody in the program, really. Uh, but I thought our ability to stay focused on the next task, which was getting ready to play today, was critical, and I felt like our guys' demeanor in practice over the last few days gave me, real hope that we would be able to overcome, some of the things we struggled with. We watched the film, some things we left on the table. We know that. We need to continue to address the free throw thing because it's clearly an issue. It's not a one-time thing anymore. So we got to figure that out. So the guys that in the locker room, that I'm confident that we'll come up with a plan to make sure it's not something that's going to cost us moving forward. So beyond that, please obviously watching it, reviewing it, seeing what things we need to get better at and get ready for the next one.
The guys seem in pretty good spirits, but after the struggle that's been the early part of the season, how have you seen them kind of respond to the?
Yeah, I mean, part of being young is really frustrating because you can't really get them to learn faster, right? The flip side of that is they don't really know enough yet for it to be something that affects them mentally. In many ways, they're still used to always having the next game, which isn't great for us, right? But it's good when you need to turn the page at this time of year, if that makes any sense. These guys, many of them from high school, right? They sometimes play 2 or 3 games in a row. They lose the first game in the morning, they come back and play that night, and it's not a whole lot of consequence. Well, there's consequence here, but when you need to get them out of it in this stage, you say, hey, let's watch this. Talk about taking our medicine, getting well. We're talking about a 2-point game here. Was it? It's not just this last play, which everybody points to, right? The last shot, but it could be the layup we missed in the first half on not executing out of timeout that maybe leads to a basket for the other team. And just getting a grasp of all of it at the same time is a process for these guys. But again, the ignorance a little bit, kind of was a positive for us in many ways that we then come back and figure out a way to play much better.
The tournament is a long way away at this point, but you guys are behind the 8 ball, I guess you could say, to start the season. So do you kind of welcome that ignorance with this group then, that they don't know, or do you need them to start thinking about things like that?
I'll be honest, Marshall. I don't. These guys all want to play the tournament. I've tried to really shield that from them in terms of that being the thing they focus on every day. That's on me. These guys haven't been here. Like that's a head coach deal. We got to prepare to play well each game, and I don't want a bunch of freshmen feeling like they gotta rescue their coach, so to speak, and get to the tournament this year. I want these guys to get better. I want to look up and see Justin McBride in January and feel like we're doing the right thing by this kid, because we're letting him learn through some mistakes, allowing him to grow through some discomfort. Same thing with Garrison. Same thing with Keller. And so I really don't talk about it with them that much at all. What we really talk about is the thing we can control is being better today. And hopefully that continues. I know, I'm very aware that we've dropped some games that definitely don't look good on our resume if you reach out 3 months from now. But it doesn't help them get ready to play against New Orleans or Houston Christian or Creighton next week to worry about that. And it's too much for them to even understand. I do know that we'll have a lot of opportunities out in front of us. And so that's my focus is on just getting better so we can try to take advantage of those.
The freshmen played 46% of minutes today. They played 41% the last game. That's the most that they've played this season. Have you actively been going to those guys more? Obviously, having Jamyron today helped, and you don't have Price right now, but have you actively been going to the freshmen a little bit more actively?
Yeah, there's some reality of our roster, right? And I talked about this in preseason. Like, I was hard on those guys early, probably harder on this group in the preseason than any group I've coached as a head coach, because I knew these guys have to play. Like, the numbers, just look at the roster. I mean, there's a lot of them. And then you talk about Mike Marsh dealing with some tendonitis, Bryce Thompson injury, like, what do you turn? You gotta get them ready, and they gotta learn on the job. And he knows it. Like, there was a couple of those ball screens the other day where he couldn't figure it out with Burton, right? And that didn't cost us the game. He's got to learn how to do it. It's part of the process with him. And I feel good about what we're doing, in all honesty, because these guys are going to get a whole lot better. And like, they're going to win a lot of games together. If no one comes in and screws up their minds and tells them that they don't need each other. I believe they're going to get better. I don't think that we're at the end of them making mistakes, things that we scratch our heads like tonight. I mean, we're running a play for Brandon Garrison to score, and he doesn't remember it. Out of timeout. I love him to death. Like, would do anything for the kid, but I was about to just go rip the jersey off and tell him to go to the locker room. Like, how do you forget the players for you? But that happens. And so you live with it. It's frustrating. It's hard, and it was one of those things that I understand. I know most people just like, how could that happen? That's poor coaching. I get it. I'll take it, but I do understand it. I've been doing this 19 years. It's what you got to deal with sometimes.
Mike, do you have a timetable for when you expect you guys to be back?
No. Yeah, I mean, if you guys know me well enough, I try not to play doctor. He hasn't been able to practice. He wasn't even able to really play in the second half of the first game up there. And so that was a concern because Bryce is a pretty competitive kid. So when he couldn't run at all, put much weight on it, and it was something more significant than just maybe a short stint of pain. Now, we don't feel like from the MRI that there's any real ligament long-term damage, but everybody kind of heals in a different time frame. So I know he's been able to run on the weightless zero gravity treadmill here the last couple of days, which is encouraging. And how fast that process goes is really on his body. And I'm not going to rush him back as much as I know how important the games are and risk his future in basketball to try to get 10 minutes out of him in a game. We could really use him. We could use him against Notre Dame, no question. Right? 2 points for a guy who averages 14, 15. Maybe it's not the difference, but it gives you another chance, another option. Helps to have Keller back out there. So you guys see. I mean, we think he can help this team, both ends of the court. Brings a different burst offensively and a different kind of intensity defensively that we don't have in other spots. So to answer your question again, I don't have a specific time frame. We're going to work as aggressively within reason and be responsible with his leg. It's a knee kind of sprain. And if he's ready to play Friday, he'll play. If he's not, we'll wait.
What did you look at Keller tonight, first game in the Cowboys uniform?
I think he just lost himself in the game. He'd been really trying to play for about 2.5 weeks. I mean, he wanted to play in the opener. But same thing with Bright. Like, he wasn't ready. The doctors said, hey, this thing needs some more time. And, as hard as it is, when you're the coach and you feel like you want to have as many options available to you as possible, there's also a level of responsibility that I have to these kids. When walking in the living room and tell their parents you're going to look out for them, it doesn't mean except for when I really need them to play through an injury. So you got to be real about this if you're going to be real about it and say, we'll get him healthy and we're going to do the right thing by him. And I think everybody was able to see that he can help. See, the biggest difference maker is, does he take us from a team that can make the tournament to a national championship? Probably not that big of a difference, but gives us another playmaking guard, another guy who can really guard the basketball defensively, and one who obviously can make shots.
Did you do anything to surprise you? I don't think I would have had him shooting 7 threes, much less making 4 of them. Did he do anything that surprised you?
I don't know if I would say surprised me. I was surprised how aggressive he looked for his shot. I wasn't surprised. He didn't take any bad shots. He took open shots. He dunked one in transition. I mean, so just the freedom it looked like he played with, how comfortable he looked on the court was more surprising. Because I thought he'd be a little nervous, a little bit more reserved or hesitant to go out there and go for it. But I was glad to see him not take that approach.
Preseason, you said that this team was further along offensively than defensively, and you said that after the second game of the season. 5 games in now, do you feel like you're trending in the right direction to get where you want them to be defensively, or is that still too early to tell, or is it where are you kind of?
I'll say it this way: we're better defensively now than we were in the preseason. we do better defensive things more often now, but we're still a ways away. And part of it is the sense of urgency when you got three guys out there playing that fifth game, right? You get up 11, it's like, no, like they're still trying to win. Like you got to get another stop. You got to defend again, whether you made the shot or missed the shot. You can't be frustrated by the turnover you made or somebody missed you on a break or you missed a shot. Like you got to keep guarding through all of it, and we're not there yet. We'll get there, but it takes a little more time with younger guys than with a more veteran team that has that sense of urgency kind of embedded in them. Like John Michael Wright, plus 34, he didn't play a great game, but his awareness consistently on the scouting things, on rebounding, on blocking out, it's night and day between him and Jamyron Keller, who played better, but he's just playing on instincts right now. He doesn't really know what he's doing yet.
How much of a balance is that of you gotta go out there and you gotta play experience, on-court experience, versus watching game film or running plays or doing things in practice that are maybe not as tangible as live action against another team you haven't seen all summer?
Yeah, both are really important. Practice gives you a chance to do it over. In the game you don't get to do it over. I don't go to a scrimmage at SMU and I just run out on the court and say, hey, stop, everybody stop. I can't do that in the game. I get a technical, you lose possession. So both are important. You get the reps in practice. You can make them run in practice. I can't stop the game and make them run. Yeah, it's probably not smart. It probably could, but it's not smart. But in the games are where it counts, right? You got to be able. Yeah, we talk about the free throw thing. Like we make them in practice, guys. I can show you the numbers every day. Our shot tracker numbers. They tell us we shoot more free throws than any team in their system. Anybody, every week. But you get out there and you miss one, and now you start thinking about it, or the crowd celebrated. It's kind of uncomfortable. Our crowd celebrated a made free throw from our guys. That shouldn't be the case. But I get where they're coming from. I'm tired of watching them miss too, in all honesty. So you need both. The game reps you can't simulate really in practice as much, but you get to do it over as much as you can.
Mike, how do you kind of keep a young group focused on, okay, we're not going to win by 30 every night or whatever it was?
Sure.
How do you keep them focused in that aspect?
You just show them the film. I mean, college basketball is different now than it's ever been. And this is not me excusing our losses, right? But you look around, a lot more upsets happen this time of year than probably 15 years ago, let's say. Partly because the transfer portal has kind of leveled a little bit, right? There's really good players at every level of college basketball, and teams that play younger guys like we're doing haven't figured out that every possession of every game matters. So you get up 10 and you have a lapse and you're up 2, and now you feel pressure. Everything's got to go your way, like we talked about in that Abilene Christian game, and it just doesn't work that way. So just every day, man, I've probably been harder on this group because I know they need it, and I need those young guys on the court than I've ever been before, but you still can't simulate it in the game. I think I've broken 3 clipboards already. I mean, Reed's literally going to find me here soon, so I'm going to have to stop breaking clipboards.
Last couple questions. I think the radio broadcast said Isaiah was supposed to play today.
Yes, really unfortunate. I hate it for the kid, man, because he's worked really, really hard. He's coming back from his hip. Got better from the hip. Then traveled so he could stay here and lift and do some conditioning and stuff like that last week. Met with him Sunday, and the thought was he would practice Saturday and Sunday and be ready to be available tonight. And he practiced Saturday well, about as well as he practiced since he's been here. Had a not as good practice, but a good enough practice yesterday. And literally, he landed on somebody's foot the first possession of shoot around today and kind of rolled his ankle a little bit. So I hate it for him. Another setback. You wonder mentally what it does to a kid. We're going to try to continue to encourage him to be positive because if we ever get him there, we think there's some things that he can bring to the table in a positive manner.
Coach, was it in the game plan to try and stop Jordan Johnson today,
Yes,
or we
it was.
kind of knew that he was going to score, and you guys just need to put more points on the board to cancel out what he was scoring?
I don't know about that. I mean, you guys know me well enough. As much as I feel like we're better offensively, I'm still a defensive guy at my core. But when you have a guy who gets as much volume as he does, what you try to do, and I don't think we did a great job of this, is try to make him as inefficient as possible. Guy who plays with me, I've coached against Steph Curry and Trae Young, right? Two of the most high usage guys you could ever imagine. You just got to hope that you can challenge as many of the shots as possible, not put him on the free throw line because he rarely misses there, right? Those are easy points for him. And then over the course of the game, he just wears down, right? He doesn't make the shots later that he makes early, and you get enough different bodies on him that he feels like he's just exhausted from trying to make plays over and over and over again. So I think with guys like that, you never really just play the game long enough to know you don't shut him down. Just try to make it as hard for him as possible.
On the free throws in practice, I was just curious if Keaton Page has anything to do with that, with how well he shot free throws. How much of it, or any, is his role in that?
I mean, he's there.
Yeah.
He can't shoot him for long.
Sure.
It's an interesting question. I don't know if I'm not really sure I even know what you're trying to ask.
I was just curious if how much he's in practice, or if he's on the complete other end of the court, or dealing with something else, or how involved he is in.
We shoot him every conceivable way.
Yeah.
Shoot him in small groups. We shoot him as a group. We make him run when they miss. We make him shoot 10 in a row at a time. We make him make 500 before they leave some days. Guys just have to have confidence in a good routine and the right amount of focus. None of these guys are bad shooters. I've coached some bad shooters. I have, in all honesty. But these guys all have pretty good, strokes. They all have something a little bit quirky with their shot. Q thumbs the ball a little bit more than you need to. If that makes any sense to anybody. His off thumb is involved too much, so he doesn't always get great rotation on it. Daly kind of palms the ball a little bit more, so his shot comes out flat some. Garrison's got a pretty clean stroke. He usually misses long or short. I mean, I think it's just a matter of, getting into a game where they make, 10 in a row and feel like they can do it at this point. Because it's not about not getting the reps or the technique. I'm sure maybe we could work that out. Bryce Thompson was 2 for 2 his last game. So I don't know. It's hit or miss.
Was his routine a little bit different? I thought one of his feet was back further whenever he did those 2 for 2.
Bryce?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely tried to make some adjustments tactically to his spacing, balance, and kind of having a more smooth release. I told him after the game against Abilene, I thought he was kind of trying to aim the ball in the basket after a while. But his shot got slower and slower and slower, and all to the point where he was hoping he didn't have to shoot it. Like somebody would say, "Stop! You don't have to do this." And you can't think like that. Tell him all the time. Listen, there's only 2 things that can happen when you shoot a basketball. You can either go in, or you can miss. You don't go to jail. No one's gonna shoot you, and you don't get put off scholarship. I mean, so just go up there with confidence that you've done this all your life and shoot it, man. And sometimes you gotta let caution go to the win.
All right, guys. Thanks so much.
Appreciate it.
You guys. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.